Hi everyone, this is Josh. I am filming from the Welsh countryside. That's right, I'm in the United Kingdom. It's a little greener, as you can see behind me, than the desert lands I usually film from in Idaho. But as always, I basically am reading a book and wanted to share with you something that I just finished. It is Brad Jersack's newest book, which is A More Christ-like Way, A More Beautiful Face. I don't have a copy to show you because I received an electronic version from Brad as a promoter copy, which I was really thrilled about. So full disclosure, I did receive it for free. But that did not impact what I'm going to say today, actually, in going on. I did read, actually, Brad's book in 2015, his first one, which is A More Christ-like God, A More Beautiful Gospel, which is phenomenal, and it really is a powerful book. I read that one 2-3 times, which is actually a rarity for me, loaned it out to multiple people, and so when I found out that Brad had wrote the sequel to it, The More Christ-like Way, I just had to get it, and he is so amazing that he was able to send me a copy. And this really is a sequel. This really is Brad kind of talking about the next step. You have a beautiful gospel. Now you have kind of the Jesus way, a more beautiful way of faith. And in this, you do see him responding to some of the criticisms or comments and some of the things that came out of his first book, which actually is kind of, heartbreaking in some ways, because I really loved his first one, More Christ-like, gospel, More Christ-like God, and I just really love impacted me and how I saw that the faith that I had reflected in that. But as I read the second book, More Christ-like Way, there were so many stories of just pain and sorrow built into there that in some ways made me cringe, as Brad's kind of sharing his journey with people and what it means to be radically a follower of Jesus in the Jesus way. So yeah, it's powerful, it's good. In fact, the first part of this new one, A More Christ-like Way, he really kind of recaps some of his first book for those who didn't get a chance to read it or might not read it. He also talks about deconstruction. Deconstruction tends to be kind of a trend these days, and a lot of people talking about it in a very negative sense. And Brad talks about it in the sense of redefining a picture, kind of restoring a picture or restoring, remodeling a house per se. There's times where you do have to get rid of stuff, but it's kind of a kernel a lot of times in a lot of our faith that remains true and consistent. I know for myself, the Jesus I am following now was also the Jesus I was introduced to as a kid. Even though there was things that had to tweak and had to kind of change along the path, there really was this kernel of who he was, of who Jesus was, that remained consistent through that. And I think Brad kind of tries to draw this out of what does it mean to have this beautiful Christ-like way of living for God. So the second path really takes from there, and he has 4 counterfeits he looks at, how sometimes our moral kind of, I don't know, not really even ethics, but as our morality kind of takes over, where we try to trumpet that and we want to make sure that this is this is the way to go, and it goes over and sometimes trumps love and peace and joy and some of the things that God has put in place. Sometimes we get so caught up in partisanism, fracturing between my group or your group, or even, dare I say, into nationalism, where our nation becomes even more important to us than Jesus. And, Jesus in the gospel had to wrestle with this. He had the zealots, he had the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the Romans, and all this stuff was right there into it, right? And he said, let's follow me into the way of the cross, into the way of really getting with people. And Brad tries to draw that out and introduce people to to the Jesus way, basically, which goes into the third part of the book, which is basically 7 facets of a more beautiful way. Radical self-giving, radical hospitality, radical union and recovery, peacemaking and forgiveness, surrender, compassion, and justice. And in these sections, really, I think the heart of the book and the meat of the book, because I think they're so important. And there's one part, I think, in Radical Recovery where he talks about the Beatitudes. And the book is worth the price of just that chapter long, as he draws out the Beatitudes, not just as something that we cannot be done or a standard that we trying to survive to, but of way of life, to how we go and move forward with Christ, and even a testimony of the gospel itself, of the Beatitudes being the story of Jesus and how he lived it out. Some powerful stuff there that I want to chew on for a while as I kind of think about the Beatitudes. So I know it's getting long in the video, so I'll wrap it up. But needless to say, I think Brad Jerkson's newest book, his More Christlike Way, More Beautiful Faith, is good. It's definitely worth picking up. And I also recommend his first one is, again, More Christ-like God. And then read them both together. Read one and then read the other. Either direction doesn't matter, but you won't go wrong. So anyway, God bless you guys. Take care. And I'm going to go hiking in these woods. So take care. Bye.